Following on from the previous video, which discussed variables and their scope, this will go a step further and explain how to use them. Because variables can be used all over the shop in regards integration services, I'm going to use a very basic, simple way to get to know them better. After that, then really the sky's the limit of what you can do with variables, but this will give you the basic tools to go away and hopefully start making some of your own exciting scripts. So what I've got here is a package I've already created. You can obtain this file from my website, pcteach.me. You'll have to register, but on the particular page where this is discussed, you'll be able to download this file. And on here then, what we've got is we've got a pretty basic ETL process where we have a particular task, which if I just double click, what that will do is it will open up, go to package. I've got it connected to a warehouse and it's going to a package called 1000 extract, and as a result, if you opened up that file, you won't have it, but if you opened up that, you would then see that would then show all the different extract routines to pull out all of the information into my staging area in my warehouse. Then what we have is, if that is successful, it goes to the success email option. However, that won't fire at that point because all other green lines need to be completed for a successful email to occur. So the next step is transformation. So once the information's in, I would then transform it. Same thing again. What will happen is this would then go off, fire up the next process, and again there'll be several sub packages inside there which would fire to do my transformation, and then finally it would then do the load, which would then finally put it into the cubes, etc., ready for use by the user. So if all three of these are successful, then a successful email will occur. However, at any stage through these processes, the dotted lines going off to the side, if I just double click, will bring up the information, is if it is a failure, what will happen? Well, it shoots all the way down here and it will do an error email. Now that's what I'm specifically clued up about here. What I want to know is, if it errored, how did it error? So what we've got then is, just very quickly, we've got a series of other packages that would run. I've got a little housekeeping routine that clears off log entries over 14 days old because I won't be interested in them. I'm shrinking down the databases once done, and each one of these steps, if any of those fail, I would actually get an error email. So you can get into a situation, and it does happen, that I will get a success and an error email. The reason being is the ETL worked, however the ancillary steps, which I'm not too concerned about on a day-to-day basis, may fail, so I may get an email coming through as an error. So it's this pesky little item we need to actually look at. Now, prior to doing that, let's just have a look at the variables I've created. I'm just going to pin that so it'll stick on the screen. So I've created a series of string variables. As I said in the previous one, I prefix them. So str from, str error message, str carbon copy, str2, and str subject. The reason I do that is that once I've hard-coded who it's being sent to, I don't have to fiddle around in any of the packages. It will automatically go in. That's because on another video I've got, I talk about something known as package configurations. If I go to the SSIS menu, come on. Oh, see what I mean about this? You've got to click in the background, but there we go, package configurations. And what that will do is, one of the package configurations, which is an XML file, will contain all of the values for my variables. Now, what we're going to then discuss is how this all fits together. Well, what I will do is, if I go to the error email and double click on it, this will open up the dialog box. I'm going to go to the mail section, and as you can see, I've got my from, my to, my basic SMTP connection, and I've got a subject line saying error occurred on ETL. But that's no good because it's very static. What I want to do is make it dynamic, so it will pick up what that error is and actually submit it into the email. Well, that's where I go into the expressions section, because in the expressions I can then define what particular variables get used. So if I click on the three dots here, this will bring up all the values that I can actually choose from. So if I wanted to put a blind carbon copy in, I can, and then I can then specify on here which variables that I've defined, which will have user associated with them, I could put in. in this scenario, I'm not going to do that, but that will give you an idea that that's how you associate variables to that mail property. So have a play. There's loads to choose from in there. We're not finished with this, but I'm just going to cancel for now. So that will give us the basic error email information in regards pulling through these particular variables. But error message here, str error message, is blank. Well, the reason being is I'm running it right now, that we don't know what the error is until it actually crops up. So this is where we need to actually create a script. Now, when I first started using integration services, I was besotted about being inside here and going to the toolbox and putting in your scripting task. That's the wrong place to put it. You do not put these sort of things in your control flow. What you need to do is go into your event handlers. And one of the areas in particular should be, oh, excuse me, I've fallen for my own trap here. Don't have anything selected. Click on the package because it's the overall error I'm after, not that specific error. Now go back to event handlers, and all being well, there we go. It just took a few moments to spring into life, but I've just chosen the overall package, which is called 000 run all. And I've got this script here called create error list for email. So what I'm going to do is just double click on that, which will then open up the scripting section. And I'll go to script. And you'll notice that I've got a series of variables that are defined. So I'm telling it for the script to work, it needs to pull in a series of variables. And these are the error description, the error code, the source name, the source ID, the package name, and the package ID. So these are the system variables that I discussed briefly in the previous video. And how you would put them in is you would click in here and type them in. And you've got to be bang on right, case sensitive and all. Slightly annoying, but you've got to be bang on with your writing. The next thing is you've also got the read-write variables. What's going to be read in and also written to. And as you can see here, I've got this str error message that I discussed in my variables list earlier on. Now, here's the simple bit. If we go to the design script now, this will then require you to understand VB script. But what you'll have is a very basic sort of scripting area here. It's a bit too big for the window. Let me just size it down so it's a bit easier to see. And what we've got then is any script that you create, there will be a main section of your code. And what I'm doing is I'm telling it to connect and select the str error message value and tell it that it will equal the following: the error message and then these particular options, because what you've got to bear in mind is there could be multiple errors with the particular package. So what you would do is you would actually concatenate the error message, which we're already telling over here. So this is like saying answer equals answer plus 1, so it will then always add more to it. So we've got the error message here concatenating onto the package ID, which is now pulling in the read-only value that I told it to bring in, and the package name, the source, and so on, telling it to do a carriage return, a line feed, for each particular row. And as a result, what this will then do is put all of this information into this str error message. Now, what then finally happens is, if I just cancel all of this, jump back to the control flow, because we have this error email on here, this error email, if I double click again, is expecting as part of its expressions in the message source the str error message variable. And so because we've already told it via the script if an error occurs on the exception handling what to do, what will happen is it will automatically populate that into your email. So that's how you would utilize variables in a very, very basic way. Now, what I would recommend you do is, it's very difficult to do in a 10-minute video to explain all of this. What I do recommend is if you register on my website so you can get to this file, and then you can take a copy and then have a look at your heart's content and see how it all works. But this is a very basic ETL package, and how you can actually, with just one particular option, again, I've done the wrong thing again, I need to scroll up and choose the run all option. With just one option alone inside the event handlers for the package, you can actually control the entire error flow into an email. Now, the great thing about this facility is it will also pick up what the error message is in all of the sub packages. So when you come to actually get the email, it doesn't just tell you it's failed on the top level on this 00 run all. It will actually tell you which package failed in all of your sub packages and also the source IDs. So it's extremely useful, and I hope you will actually take this to heart, because this is the basics of how you would actually work with system variables and your own user variables. So thanks for watching, and I hope this has been of some use.